Have you ever stood in an aisle staring at 50 different types of toothpaste and felt your brain just stop? That sensation of freezing when faced with too many options is a very real physical response. When we are confronted with immense complexity or the pressure to make the absolute perfect choice, the emotional center of our brain, the limbic system, surges. It overpowers the logical, decision-making prefrontal cortex. Neuroscientists call this state decision paralysis. It is a recognized clinical driver that can lock people into a downward cycle of anxiety and depression. This type of indecision is a biological glitch triggered by an overly complex world, rather than a defect of character. To see exactly how options break our logic, researchers studied how college students decided to spend an evening. This chart shows the initial results. When students had to choose between attending a lecture by a visiting author or studying in the library, only 21% chose to study. But watch what happens to the data when a third option is introduced. Researchers gave a separate group the option of the lecture, the library, or a foreign film. Suddenly, the number of students choosing to study doubled to 40%. Adding an attractive new option actually drove people to the most boring choice. The mere introduction of a competing alternative creates uncertainty, which causes the brain to retreat to the safest, most familiar default available. If a single human brain freezes over picking between 3 evening activities, a massive organization faces a total breakdown unless it can find a way to bypass this biological glitch. The U.S. military deals with complexity in its most extreme form. They operate on a specific axiom: no plan survives contact with the enemy. To defeat the paralysis that comes when a battlefield turns chaotic, the Army developed a protocol called Commander's Intent. Instead of play-by-play instructions, officers provide a crisp, plain-talk statement of the operation's ultimate objective. When the weather turns or communication lines break, that singular goal tells every soldier exactly what to prioritize without needing new orders. To survive chaos, you cannot rely on complex instructions. You must strip your strategy down to its absolute, unshakable core. Getting to that core requires forced prioritization. It is an actively painful process because it demands you weed out genuinely good ideas to protect the single most important one. During the 1992 presidential race, Bill Clinton's advisors had to stop him from talking about the balanced budget, even though it was polling well. They told him plainly, if you say 3 things, you don't say anything. We see this same discipline at Southwest Airlines. Their operations run on a singular directive. They are the low-fare airline. If an employee suggests adding a chicken Caesar salad to a flight, they don't need a committee. They ask if the salad makes them the low-fare airline. It doesn't, so the idea is instantly discarded. This core objective operates as a strategic filter, resolving difficult choices for an employee before they ever reach a state of paralysis. A core message is only useful if it physically fits into the limited bandwidth of human working memory. The equation for a message that actually sticks is straightforward. Simple equals core plus compact. Without compactness, product design falls victim to feature creep. Engineers add button after button, and the desire to do everything results in a device that does nothing well. To fight this during the development of the Palm Pilot, the creator carried a small block of wood in his pocket. It served as a constant physical reminder that no feature could be added if it didn't fit that exact compact footprint. True compactness forces elegance. It prevents you from adding the kind of noise that paralyzes decision-making. But how do you compress complex information into a tiny package without losing the nuance? The solution is a psychological tool called a schema. A schema is a way to tap into the memories and associations that people already have hardwired in their brains. Let's say you want to explain what this fruit is. Listing its biological traits, the soft, thick rind and coral flesh, is confusing and slow. Instead, you bypass the biological data and just say it's a supersized grapefruit. Your brain instantly grabs the existing properties of a grapefruit and scales them up, filling in the blanks automatically. This shortcut drives massive industries. Hollywood pitches millions of dollars with single lines, like Jaws on a spaceship. And Disney implies a dozen rules of behavior simply by calling their employees cast members. By utilizing schemas, you hijack the brain's existing architecture to transmit massive amounts of data in a fraction of a second. Which brings us back to the glitching human brain. Finding the core isn't about dumbing things down. It is about biological efficiency. When you locate the core and make it compact, you surgically cut through the noise. You relieve the heavy cognitive load on the prefrontal cortex, which immediately empowers action. Neuroscience suggests that decisiveness acts like a muscle. When a simple core allows you to make a choice instead of worrying, it reinforces the decision-making circuits in your brain, making the very next decision feel easier and more intuitive. Defeating decision paralysis doesn't require more data. It requires the ruthless, biological discipline of simplicity.